Hailing from Sioux City, Tommy Bolin was among the rock and roll royalty, and he left a large legacy in his much too short career in music.
Tommy started, and wasn't actually learning to play the instrument. He was pantomiming when my dad, who was a huge Elvis fan. So he had Tommy pantomiming Elvis at about age 5. We took him to the Sioux City Auditorium, and Tommy heard Elvis play at 5.
5 years later, Tommy's dad would buy him his first electric guitar. As he learned to play, he seemed to progress at an accelerated rate.
He started playing bands, and then from then on out, I was going up to Sioux City, and he got better as time went on. Outgrew everything. His hair got too long, so they threw him out of school.
Tommy started playing in bands in the mid-60s. One of the first was called Denny and the Triumphs. They soon changed their name to A Patch of Blue after Tommy joined, and in 1999, they were inducted into the Iowa Rock and Roll Hall of Fame.
They fired him because he played too loud. So he doesn't have a school, he doesn't have a band, so that's when he made his bust and moved to Colorado.
Once in Denver, Tommy struggled to find a place to stay and a regular band to play with. Walking down the street one night, he heard music coming from a basement, and he boldly knocked on the door to ask to come in and listen.
He just heard some music. He said, "Oh, come on in." And they asked if he could jam towards the end of the rehearsal. And they said they were going to play, and they were like in awe. And they fired the guitar player the next day and got Tommy.
Just like that, Tommy joined Crosstown Bus, and they changed their name to American Standard soon after. Member Jeff Cook would become Tommy's writing partner in future projects as well.
And really, when it comes down to it, he had really no place to go. But he outgrew Sioux City already. He loved it here.
Tommy felt a connection to where he was from, but had the presence of mind at the age of 16 to know he had to pick up and move to where he had a bigger pool of musicians to choose from, as well as a wider audience to reach with his music.
So he met up with a band called Zephyr's, a couple of players from other bands, and he met Tommy, and they loved his playing, and they ended up getting a record deal right away. And they did an album just entitled Zephyr. Then they went on to do an album out at Electric Ladyland, Hendrix Studio, called Going Back to Colorado.
Going Back to Colorado would usher in a personnel change on drums, which in time would be problematic with certain members. Producer Eddie Kramer was grieving over the death of Jimi Hendrix, so the album was released in an incomplete state.
He liked jazz quite a bit. It's more like Wes Montgomery, Django Reinhardt. The guitars that could really play in a different style. But you hear him play that kind of stuff on his records.
When Tommy left Zephyr, he took along new drummer Bobby Burgee and started a jazz rock project called Energy. This project gave Tommy the chance to play the music that was inspiring him at that time.
So Energy was like jazz, fusion. They had to play rock and roll too. I love rock and roll. They had to play nightclubs. The club owners were firing them, and Tommy couldn't figure it out. He goes, "We packed the place." He goes, "I know, but they don't drink. That's what keeps us going. It's packed, yeah. They're watching you guys."
Tommy was showing that he could wear many musical hats, and he was getting calls to do session work and hobnobbing with musical greats, but unfortunately the current direction he had taken was leading him into financial ruin.
He was real versatile. He met some guys in New York, so he flew Tommy out there, saw Tommy play some of those guys. And that was like jazz, and that's why I met Billy Cobham from Mob Mission Orchestra. So when he had a solo record out, like Dave Sanborn, Jeff Porcaro.
In '73, Joe Walsh came along and poached some members from Tommy's band Energy. Then he promptly turned around and recommended Tommy to his old band, the James Gang, telling them they should hire him since he was the better guitar player. Tommy, enticed by the offer, took the gig.
So he did, and then they got him out of the clubs and they got him touring again. It was a really good gig, So, and he wrote all the songs on both albums. The second one was called Miami. That came out. And then it just came out, and this manager came over and goes, "It's 72 on the charts with a bullet," meaning starting to climb. And Tommy goes, "I don't know, I'm going to quit this band." And his manager's going, "You got to be out of your mind."
After leaving the James Gang, Tommy tried to focus his efforts on a solo career. Through some trials and tribulations between New York and LA, he put out his debut solo album Teaser.
He got a call from Deep Purple. The lead singer heard Tommy on Billy Cobham's jazz fusion album, drummer. His guitar playing was amazing. Just to this day, it's like one of the best. So Coverdale recommended Tommy to the rest of the guys in the band. They never heard of him. They didn't know what he looked like. They go, I don't know, is he black or white or have an afro or long hair? What's he look like? So they came to rehearsal and he looked pretty good.
Although Tommy was focused on his solo career, he couldn't pass up the status of playing with a headlining act like Deep Purple. They would shift musical directions with his addition, and soon release their album, Come Taste the Band. The Bolin years of Purple would just last a year.
And so he quit Purple. So then he had to deal with Columbia Records. That's when he went and did Private Eyes. But it was just the Tommy Bolin band on the album covers, Tommy Bolin.
Once again, Private Eyes would showcase Tommy's versatility. He would reassemble his band and began touring in support of the album. But tragically, this chapter of Tommy's story would be cut short.
He's starting back over again. He's got his dream of having his own albums. So it's worth it, you know. When he had problems with his girl and drugs. That's too bad, though. That's when he passed, 76.
Tommy Bolin was just 25 years old when he passed away.